This podcast is supported in part by our patrons. If you feel you get some value from our shows, please consider giving some value back at patreon.com/Psychon. Thank you.
Welcome, Marines, to the Retrograde podcast. This is episode number 63, where today we're going to be talking about the Xbox launch title, Halo Combat Evolved. Woo! Today I'm joined by my infected blood types. First up, we have the commanding officer of my Pillar of Autumn, it's Anthony Hobday.
Hello.
The man who puts the core in Cortana, it's Mark Tall.
Hello.
And the man who holds the captain keys to my heart, it's Adam Bromwich-Hughes.
Hoorah!
And who am I? I'm the artisan Spartan, Jack Marshall. That was a good one. I saved the best one for me. Woo!
Friends of the show.
Friends of the show. Well, we should say this is
Mark
the first.
Tall and
This is the first episode we've done where two of the regular cast aren't here.
Really?
We're missing Monica and Chandler. Oh wait, no, that's weird. We're missing Monica and Ross.
Yeah, because Lizanne and James are brother and sister. It's less weird.
Because James is in Glasgow, Lizanne's in Iceland, I think, or Poland. One of the lands.
It's Iceland, isn't it?
Huh?
Reykjavik.
She's doing the Game of Thrones tour.
I think,
really?
Like the Queen did.
I think James got recalled to his country. They needed him for a war or something. And
Go back to the motherland.
they needed Lizanne and Neil to go and sort out the, what's it called, volcano? Because that's going to blow again, apparently.
Which one? The V one.
The one that stopped all those Heathrow flights from going for ages. Stopped me from coming back from Canada, actually.
Never forget.
I had to stay in Canada for an extra week because of that volcano.
Oh, no.
Oh,
How did you cope? How did you cope?
I went down to the...
what did you drink for water?
I knew a guy on the internet who was also in Vancouver at the same time, and he got stopped, and he was on British Airways, so he went down to the airport, and they gave him a 5-star hotel to stay in for a week. So I thought I'd try my luck, even though I had a house to stay in for next to no rent. So I went down there. I had this whole sob story. I sort of choked up a bit as I was saying it. I was like, I just don't know where to stay. They didn't accept it. It was like, no, it's an act of God. We can't really help you, but there is charity shelter down there that you can take advantage of for like hurricane crises. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I've got a house to stay in. I just wanted a sweet hotel. I'm not going to take up some.
In front of all the other people under the crisis shelter. I was like, no thanks. I've got a home.
There's other people just lining up. It's like, no, we're full. This guy took the last seat, the last bed. I'm like, yep, thanks. Free breakfast. Is there breakfast continental at this place, or? Oh, it's a cracker. Okay.
Yeah, but we haven't. So, Adam, you've not been on the show since episode 10.
Yeah, I got brought in at the last minute to talk about a game that I hadn't played for about 20 years. Which was that?
Super Mario.
It was Super Mario.
World.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Because that was like a year and a half ago.
Wait, who wasn't there for Super Mario World?
James.
That's crazy. That's a pretty
It's
important
often
game.
James, to be honest.
Was that another?
He's
Was that another one of the annual Scottish recalls?
Yeah, it was. He has to go back and fight again. And Mark, you did. I want to say System Shock 2.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the last one I did. It
Maybe.
probably was.
I
I've
don't
done a
know.
couple now.
But yeah.
Not for a while, though. It's been a while.
But yeah, it's been a while. Welcome back to the show. Not much has changed. It's nice.
No,
though.
well, the numbers have gone straight up. I mean, we're up to like 60 whatever now.
63.
Wow.
63.
I mean, the table's better quality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you had the old table.
It was like a paster's table before. This is much better.
I love how the listeners have heard everything about this table.
Oh really? Is this a talking point?
This is like, well, this table, remember when I got it on Amazon, it's 30 quid. I'm still happy about it. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
listeners, I should leave a 5-star review.
After this long. I bought this 6 years ago. It's held up pretty well.
I should, though. I should put a link to the Retrograde podcast in the review.
We record every episode on this table. 5 stars.
Never let me down.
Never let the microphones down.
So what's been going on in people's gaming worlds? Anyone got anything they want to share about gaming recently?
I don't...
Have you been playing Borderlands, the pre-sequel?
No.
I know, because you hate Borderlands.
I hate Gearbox.
Oh, of
not
course.
necessarily Borderlands.
Well, you know Gearbox did the PC version of Halo, right?
Yeah, I did. And they apparently messed up the netcode in the multiplayer. So, Gearbox, everyone.
You'll be happy though, Anthony. Borderlands pre-sequel wasn't Gearbox.
Was it not?
No.
Oh, it's
like,
2K.
Yeah, 2K. Like, was it was the
Marin
Australian
or
one.
Mandarin or
Mandarin. Yeah. It's the Australian guys. I've heard they've got a lot of Australian references in the game.
Well, I also heard it wasn't anything better than what Gearbox are pumping out, so I'm not going to play it.
No, I also hate Borderlands. I think we played a lot of it, didn't we, Jack?
We played 2 for quite a while, and we were trying to work out why people went so nuts for it. Then again, playing any game with you in co-op where you can, when it's open world, is a nightmare because you're going to run off.
That is.
I'm like a lost child in a supermarket going, Mark, where are you?
Absolute lies. You're a liability, Jack.
Whatever.
That's the problem. You can't keep up.
Can't keep up to pace.
There's
I'm too busy smelling the flowers in the game. I've been playing. I've given up on Mordor, Walls of whatever it's called,
Shadow of Mordor,
which is such a pain to say on Connect because it's like Connect, Shadows of Mordor, Lord of the Rings. The game I'm currently playing, Connect, and it'll go, oh, you want the Fantasia demo, do you? It's like, no, but whatever, I'll do it.
Man, that's a really nice voice the Connect's got.
I read that they're doing the Domino's Pizza app, where you literally go, Domino's feed me, and it'll order you your,
I thought that was already a thing in the United States.
Oh man, that's dangerous.
That's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially if your housemate walks in and goes, Domino's feed me, and runs out again. Brilliant.
I love that you said, I heard they're doing a Domino's Pizza app, as if it's like rumour. Hasn't quite been confirmed. Like, I heard on the grapevine they're doing a Domino's Pizza app.
I don't know why they didn't announce that at E3.
Yeah, exactly. That's a mega bomb, isn't it?
We've heard on guys just shout out, Domino's feed me.
Because everyone would have shouted it and it'd be about 600 pizzas coming in.
It makes me really sad if like my great grandparents were alive and they came and saw me and they're like, let's go. So like, let's go see what Jack's doing. And I'm sitting on the floor on my arse playing Mordor going, Domino's feed me. And then 20 minutes later, a guy turns up for pizza. I'm like, doors open, just walk in.
If they saw that, they'd be like, 2014's amazing.
We couldn't even get potatoes delivered. Adam, you playing anything good at the moment?
No, I had this period where I downloaded everything on Steam that was under £3.
We've all been there. And
just got bored of games in general. So I had a little period of rest, and then back into it for Halo, which was good fun.
But I was speaking to you when we were speaking the other night because your wife's gone away for a couple of days, first weekend alone in the world, and you were just like, I've got so many things to play, but I don't know what to play.
I know, too many games to play. I mean, part of that, part of those games that I played recently, I played one called, is it Going Home?
Gone Home?
Gone Home.
Don't talk about Gone Home. Do you like it?
Yeah, I did actually. I really enjoyed it.
Did you find any bugs in that game?
Buggy.
Oh, God, terrible. I mean...
How dare you?
Crashing all the time.
Did you actually like it, though, in all seriousness?
I actually really enjoyed it, yeah. Really good.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it.
I like the fact that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games where it didn't just suddenly go, oh, it's not what I thought. It's a slow reveal for me to suddenly get to the point where I'm like, oh, actually, this isn't.
Did you see my name in the credits?
I did. I waited.
Do you want to touch me? Do you want anything?
It's a big table, and you're very far away.
Let's make it smaller.
He's touching him, listeners. No, Adam actually found a note in the game that said, fix this, signed by Jack. Just, make sure to fix this and this and this.
That's how testers work.
Yeah, they put little post-it notes in the game.
Yeah, we run around in the game going, boop. Texture issue.
This shouldn't be a lamp. Should be a watermelon.
I remember when I was testing it, I decided, because I'm a tester, to get all the objects in the house and just throw them down at the main stairwell, which obviously caused it to like completely fall over because there's like thousands of objects. So I wrote the bug report and the guy was like, yeah, we're not going to fix that. And I'm like, don't know. Someone might spend an hour like I did getting everything in the house and putting it in a drawer.
Someone on YouTube especially. They love not playing games.
Well, me and Mark have worked on games. We work on a game called Chime for quite a while. It's like a puzzle game. And it was like, we were like, no one's going to beat our high scores. We've been working on this for a year. Day one, like some guys got like 20 times what we've ever managed to get. And it's like, what the hell?
It was so bad they actually managed to break the scoring system. Like they got to 999999999 and kept going.
And we, like the producers would say to us, like, is that possible for someone to get over that number? We were like, no way in hell. They did it in like 2 hours.
It's fine, ship it.
Is that because they found a shoddy bug that allowed them to get such a high score on
I wonder if
shipping day?
they must have coded it, or they must have done. They must have built a bot or something.
A bot? Yeah, you could do a bot for that. No, I thought it was poorly designed. That's the problem. It wasn't a testing. It was well tested.
Solid testing on that one. No. What were you playing, Mark?
I also just finished Shadows of Mordor.
Oh,
yeah! I saw. I've 100%ed it.
Did you collect all the flowers?
Yeah, I got everything, mate.
That's weird. Running around Mordor picking up flowers.
Picking up flowers, yeah, I love that. Nice, searching around for a mushroom. In like a deep dark cave, and underneath.
Don't remember like that happening
buildings.
in Lord of the Rings. Frodo running off trying to find a
Frodo.
Mushroom.
I thought it was all right.
Well, they had to find...
Yeah, like, even though like I did finish everything, but outside of like the Nemesis system, which is amazing, yeah, the actual main story missions were so boring.
Yeah,
it was always like, here's some slaves to go and rescue.
Yeah,
and it would always be the same, where you could just run through the whole thing.
You hate rescuing slaves in games.
I do hate rescuing slaves. I'd leave them there, mate.
You put them into slavery.
They've done something wrong to get there. So, you know,
and they were rubbish slaves. There was just one orc. Most of the time, it's just like, just run.
Yeah,
you see the orc going, come back here.
The best part of the game, though, was like towards the end, you get the ability to kind of brand orcs and put them onto your side.
Yeah.
So then you get to kind of build up an army to take on the war chiefs.
The moment I got that upgrade, though, I was way too overpowered.
You do it to everyone.
I would just walk into any orc fortress, be like, "What's up, guys? I'm here." They're like, "Get him!" And then I just walk up to guys, "You're on my team." "All right, you're with me."
I took ages as well picking out like which orc was going to be like my guy. Like if there was like, because there'd be loads of captains, and I'd go to each one of them looking for the coolest one with the best name, and if none of them had a suitable name, I'd just kill them, get a fresh batch in, until there was one which was cool enough for me to take and make into a war chief.
Did you see the video of the guy that got Douche?
Oh yeah, Douche, yeah.
Douche the war chief. So there's one of the orc names is Douche, and he decided to get him, which you can do, like upgrade him all the way up to war chief, so they become like the head of the orcs. So when he turns up to battle, all the other orcs go Douche, Douche.
It's amazing.
Douche. It's really weird.
How do you spell that?
I think it was spelled Douche.
No, it was DU with a
umlaut
thing.
They must have known.
SH. Yeah, they obviously put that in and were like,
giggle.
Yeah, so I finished that. I also started playing Outlast.
Oh yeah,
because I figured it would tide me over until
Scary?
I couldn't be bothered to get Alien Isolation.
Is that the one that's in like a mental hospital?
Yeah, it's in like a mental institution. It was scary for about 10 minutes. Like I really pooped my pants at one point at the beginning.
Ooh.
But after about half an hour, you know how like in scary games like familiarity sets in.
Yeah.
And it got to that point so quickly. So now I'm just like walking along. Guy jumps out. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And end up just running through most parts and not bothering to be stealthy. It's a bit like Amnesia though.
Why have you not bought Alien Isolation yet?
Because Master Chief Collection's coming out.
Yeah.
And Call of Duty.
And COD. Yeah. Did you get FIFA though?
I didn't get FIFA, no.
Playing your bros on FIFA.
No, I didn't get FIFA this year. No, I'm taking a year out.
Got to get that ponytail upgrade, eh?
We used to sit, when me and Mark lived together though, we would play games, like, we were talking about like, oh, there's great indie games coming out, and yet we spent 90% of our time, he played FIFA a lot, I'm playing COD.
Yep.
And it was like, we complain about like the games not changing, yet we're playing the games that like have been the stale for like 10 years.
Wait, you didn't buy FIFA yet?
I haven't bought FIFA yet.
Take that backwards cap off your head right now. Shame.
I'm not a true bro.
Take that sticker off your cap.
Unpop that collar.
Sometimes though, you don't want a game to challenge you or make you think. You just want a game where you can switch your brain off. And
exactly.
That's why I'm tempted by Sunset Overdrive.
Good reviews. I reckon. Yeah, that's got really good reviews. I was really surprised.
It's made by the Crackdown people, yeah?
No, it's made by...
They broke up years ago.
Was it Insomniac, right?
You're thinking of Real Time Worlds. Well, Insomniac games, I guess, were founded. Ruffian games.
Yeah, Ruffian did Crackdown too. Yeah.
Who the other one up there? Who were the one that made All Points Bulletin?
That was
Real Time Worlds. That was when they broke up, when they made APB. I can't remember.
Yeah, Sunset Overdrive looks good though.
Scotland gaming scene's hard to keep up with. Dundee's a hub for gaming. What about you, Anthony? You been playing anything? Anything news to share? Anything good?
I've actually been trying to make my way through Black Ops 2 because I buy them quite late.
That is a bit late.
Well, no, I already played.
Must be super cheap now, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, they actually don't go down in price a lot because Activision just never lower their prices. But I actually played through Modern Warfare 3 before I did Black Ops 2, which I think is the wrong way around. I think Modern Warfare 3 came after Black Ops 2.
I don't think it matters too much. To be
no, not story-wise, but I think Modern Warfare 3 is later than...
No, it's not.
No, it's okay, I don't know. I buy them out of order anyway. But you can tell that it's not as good as Infinity Ward stuff, even though Infinity Ward is not the same company. Are you...
I'm biting my tongue, mate. I don't know
choked on his drink.
I don't play Call of Duty games. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sledgehammer.
No, Sledgehammer. Yeah, Sledgehammer.
I can't even remember now.
No, it was. Modern Warfare 3 is the worst. Actually, no, Ghosts is the worst. Modern Warfare 3 is the second worst. Black Ops 2 was really good.
I mean, it's like...
Oh, mind you, do you just play the campaign?
Yeah, I'm talking about the campaign.
Yeah, okay,
You're comparing like slightly different shades of grey across these games.
Yeah, but I've never noticed any problems with Call of Duty until Black Ops 2. At this point, I'm watching it thinking, okay, now I'm starting to see the issue.
Is it like...
It's taken this long, and I think it's this game.
I'm 9 games in. It's starting to get a bit old on me.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
like too obvious for you now? Is that the problem?
No,
I've been through that, where I'm like...
It's just I'm not having fun, and there's no... I play them for the giant set pieces and explosions and awesome stuff happening on screen. Like, spoiler alert, nuclear missiles going off in Modern Warfare 1. But that didn't... Like, none of that's happened in
amazing.
Black Ops 2 yet. It's all just a bit boring. And I haven't had the awesome let's sit on a rooftop and snipe people mission yet. When's that happening?
Is it becoming the 24 of games? It's like they've just got to step it up next time. So they've got a nuke explosion, and next one up they're like, we got 5 nukes, 10 nukes.
They haven't done it.
Black Ops 2 is what you start off in space, don't you?
That's
No, that's Ghosts.
Is that Ghosts? Oh,
my
That
point
was
exactly,
good.
right?
Yeah,
They're
okay,
like,
so they
man,
won
we've,
it fair.
we've done Earth.
Ghost, you start off in space and you sacrifice yourself to bring the station into orbit
Yeah, I
to burn
remember
up,
that being right.
and you
Spoiler-
burn up with
spoiler
it.
alert.
I can't-
That's amazing. Well, that's the start of the game.
Yeah, actually, I can't remember much of Black Ops 2.
That was amazing. Black Ops 2 is like, there's this guy that your dad had a problem with, and now you're going after him. And then part of it's set in, like,
Vietnam.
80s Afghanistan, and part of it's set in 2025. It's like, don't set any of it in 80s Afghanistan. All of it in 2025, please. I want the future guns. Give me the future bullets, not the old
I
busted.
wanted to go back to like World War II again.
Yeah, I'd love them to go back World War 2.
They will eventually, surely.
So instead of like advanced warfighter, it's going to be like, I don't know what the opposite of advanced is. Behind warfighter.
Primitive.
Primitive
Behind.
warfighter.
They're bringing out a Valkyria Valkyria Chronicles on PC, which is pretty good if you're interested in Japanese games on the PC.
Oh, please think about my blood pressure, Anthony.
Well, no, because a lot of Japanese games don't come to PC because there's not a big market out there.
Can
But
you sorry.
no,
Can you
carry on.
explain to me in like less than a minute what that game is?
it's XCOM, but World War II and Japanese. Very Japanese. It's like anime XCOM in World War II.
I was with you until Japanese.
Well, it's made by a Japanese developer. But no, Japanese games coming to PC is pretty new, and it's pretty exciting if you like Japanese games. And I'm glad it's happening. Sega's actually kind of pushing the boat out on that one.
That Japanese forum you go on for Valkyrie Chronicles must have exploded that day. All eight of you must have gone nuts.
It's actually a well-respected game if you're into that sort of thing.
Probably losing so many listeners. I did something non-gaming this week. I watched Rocky for the first time.
Amazing.
Ever. Never seen it before. Put it on Facebook thinking no one will give it like crap. Got loads of likes for it. It's pretty depressing how many likes I got. When I put something like, guys, I did a real achievement today, 3 likes. Then I say, I'm going to watch Rocky today, and I got 30 likes.
Yep.
But Rocky and Top Gun.
Yeah, I was surprised by Top Gun.
What did you think of Top Gun?
Yeah.
To be honest, I only got about 45 minutes in,
Yeah.
and I
What
got
the-
really bored.
Yeah,
I
you got through
don't-
most of the good bits.
I found the homosexual undertones quite unsettling.
yeah.
They're not undertones, they're overtones.
That is basically the movie, isn't it?
In your face tones.
And I'm shocked by all of you monsters.
There's one bit where he's in the classroom at the start. He looks over his shoulder at Iceman, and Iceman like smiles at him like, and then does exactly the same thing twice. To the point where Iceman just keeps going, if that was me in a classroom, the second time he looked around, I'd go, stop looking at me. The third time, I'd be like, right, this guy's got
It's all
issues.
about machismo, though.
Have you seen all those recut trailers where they like set it back as a romantic comedy between Iceman and Man?
I haven't even got to the volleyball scene yet.
Oh, mate, you're in for a treat. You got to at least stick it out until then.
Well, now it's funny because now I'm really excited to watch the rest of the Rockies because I genuinely was surprised at how good Rocky is. For a film about boxing, not much boxing in it.
Oh, yeah,
Lots
no.
of just Sly Stallone talking about
Yeah.
turtles, which I couldn't even understand.
You'll have to power through Rocky 2. It's a bit of a step down. But then Rocky 3, it's like into the stratosphere. That's when it goes into space.
I can't understand how a series of films where the third and the fourth one are the most highly regarded ones. I don't understand that.
They're completely different movies, though. You'll see when you get to them.
Like Alien Aliens.
Yeah, no, it is.
Rocky 3 has
No, it
like
is.
10 Rockies.
I never got. I've only seen Rocky 1, and I never got his ability to pull women because he basically corners her and says, 3 years ago I broke this little finger, I can't move it much.
Yeah,
and then she just basically have sex with him.
That was a really weird scene.
Yeah, he's very persistent, isn't he?
I realised,
And he talks about his little finger being broken.
Well, I think it was just because she was like so shy and she never had a man touch her that he just had to break through. But that's what rapists say.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was kind of like,
That's what rapists say.
I imagine that's what they say.
I have no idea what rapists say. I'm not saying you hang out with rapists. I just don't know why you know that.
I enjoyed the most that I was watching it, and no matter how loud I turned it up, I couldn't understand a lot of what Sly was saying.
You need the subtitles.
There was a bit when he was literally talking about his turtles, going, "Yeah, I got these turtles in the," and I didn't know what he was saying. I was like, "Yeah."
She was well into it though.
Whoever was the person doing the dubbing, the subtitles on the DVD special must have been like, "Bloody hell, I'm working my arse off here."
She loved that bit about the turtles, the love interest.
There's a bit.
I haven't seen it in a while.
There's a bit. I can't remember about Rocky now, but there's a bit where he sits down on the sofa and goes, "When you come sit next to me," and there's clearly a pile of crap on the sofa next to him, and he doesn't even push it off. It's like, Sly, come on, sort it out, mate. Not that poor. But yeah, that was good. That was good. Good film. Can't wait to watch 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
You're going to love it.
Adrian's Revenge. I was lying to a friend when we were talking about remember the Rocky game on the Xbox?
Yeah, man.
Because he turned around to me and goes, Adrian was a playable character. And I was like, no, she was not.
That would have been amazing.
Like, there is no way. He goes, yeah, you could do Rocky Balboa versus Adrian in the ring. I was like, no, you couldn't.
Yeah, like the final boss. He has to fight Adrian.
Anywho, we talk about we had loads of interaction from listeners this week, which I need to go through, because there's a big thanks to Dan Gorman at YCKMD, because he nominated us over at a website called soundslikeanearful.com, and we won an award.
Yes.
Best podcast to listen to. I don't know why you two are clapping.
What?
You two didn't do nothing.
For our Lemmings episode.
It was a preemptive award.
They've just-
They knew what was
Yeah,
happening.
You two-
doing it in anticipation of us coming
Now
in.
we've got an award, you guys want to come in? Like, what?
It was for the Lemmings episode, right?
It was for the Lemmings episode. They said we were the best podcast to listen to on a commute.
Commute-friendly podcast, because we're an hour long.
I thought it's because like the train's so loud you can't hear us. Sort of.
No, it's because they have a special category just for podcasts that are an hour or so in length.
Yeah, and we've had loads of so yeah, thanks for that, Dan Gorman. We've had loads of contact from people on Twitter as well. I'm just going to be late. We've got at 10610, who's from Melbourne. Could have been our furthest away listener, but I think Melbourne's a bit closer than Canberra. Anyway, at Biomood, at Mr.
Suck
Sand.
it. Too close.
Move. Anyway, at Mr. Sands and at Galantech, and Adam Lindell as well, because they've been getting in touch with us, sending us game suggestions, things like that. Really interesting. So we asked last week, you guys weren't here, the Lemmings episode. We argued with Lizanne saying, do kids these days recognise Lemmings, the character anymore? And I was like, yeah, they all do, they all know it. So good old Frosty Taz over in our Codex club over in Ireland, I think it's like a school in Carlow, he's got a class and they listen to Retrograde every week, so he says. Don't know, they might not. But anyway,
Allegedly.
he asked them, do they know what a lemming is, showing him the character lemming. 65% of them said they knew it was a lemming, like blue and green, it was lemming, but 55% didn't know the game. They knew it was lemming, and then when he said, what game are they from, they went,
I'm surprised they even know what a lemming is. Like, I wouldn't expect anyone to...
If the game wasn't called Lemmings and they showed me that and said, what animal was that? I'd be like,
Gnome?
you could just thought they were dudes.
Or like surfers.
Like on crack or something. Crack addicts.
That's a dude.
Crack dudes.
That's a species.
Dudes. Anyway, we should go into the Paul Monahan giveaway, shouldn't we?
Yes, the Paul Monahan giveaway.
Ba-ba-da-bam.
Yeah, we were giving away the Steam Mega Drive bundle.
We've got that down to a T, by the way.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
You say it and I go ba-ba-da-bam, and you carry on.
It's impressive to see two masters of the craft at work.
Hey, we won an award.
Steam Mega Drive bundle on Steam. I already said Steam, I don't know why I said it twice. And The Bard's Tale. And I don't know what it is about this combination.
Why did we throw the Bard's Tale in there as well?
I don't know, I thought it had maybe something to do with Sega. It probably doesn't.
Because the mega bundle wasn't good enough.
It's like, I'll stick that in as well.
Honestly, listeners, for a while we've had a list of games that we can give away, and it's harder and harder to come up with themes, so I just put random games together. So this is games I thought have some involvement from Sega. I know that the Mega Drive bundle must do, but the Bard's Tale I have no idea. So we were giving away that. We had a lot of entries this episode.
Good.
But as always, it's a random draw. So the winner this episode is Hellspawn. Which I should point out is a human being and not a spawn of Satan, because we do not support...
You might have heard a roar from beneath our feet, like, roars, my time has come.
Mega Drive bundle.
You just see this hole from the ground and his claw come out.
I was waiting for it to go on sale, but I can win it in this competition just as well. I'm Satan. He made the random dice roll I did come out with his name.
Okay, yeah. They set on fire.
So, how does that help him win? Okay, Hellsport, or at Dragon Manskis. at Dragon Manskis. Mancz. How would you pronounce that?
Men's.
Men's?
MENZ.
No, Mancz.
Mensch.
Is that Mensch?
No,
Mensch.
yeah,
Dragon
Manch.
Manch.
Is it A or E?
A.
A.
I got a cold, so
Yeah,
it's-
Manch.
Mensch.
Okay, well, he won it.
Mancus.
Well,
Yeah, you're actually pretty
now
spot
he's
on
thinking,
there.
hold on, are they saying my name or not? He's going, is this my name they're talking about?
There's someone else, Manch or something. He's like, did I win it? We're like, no, you didn't. It was Hellspawn.
Ah.
Your name is Hellspoon, Dragon Manch. Yeah, so we're going to contact you on Twitter, give you those codes. That's going to be great. You're going to love it. I predicted. Next time, since this is essentially a Halloween episode, because Halloween's on Friday, and this will be released on, I'm assuming, the Wednesday. We record this in advance. We're giving away a game that was sent to us by Ganantech to give away, Fear 2.
Good man.
So if you like slowing things down and shooting people in the face when they can't stop you from doing it, Fear 2.
Let's hope he doesn't win.
No, hopefully not. We'll exclude him from the competition.
Don't tweet us, Gavin, take you out of it.
But also, because it's Halloween, to also fit the theme, we've got 9 mystery games that one of you... Was this you or was it James?
Ooh. Yeah?
I don't know who added it to the list of... But it was a list of codes that will activate on Steam.
Oh, yeah, I have. So yeah, this was me. Because I went through all my Humble Bundle unclaimed games and just was throwing them in. And each one was like, you've already got this game, you've already got this game. So I don't know what they were. So I just put them in as a lucky dip.
Right, so we've got 9 titles.
No, in my luck, I'm probably giving away, like, brand
9.
new... No, I'm not. They're going to be really okay.
9 copies of one expansion pack for Total War. So we've got 9 mystery games. You'll be winning both Fear 2 and 9 games that we have no way of knowing what they are until you get them and put them to Steam. You might have them yourself, in which case hand them off to someone else. So they'll activate in Steam. We have no idea what they are. They're from the Humble Bundle, so they'll be from past, bundles.
Don't tell them how we win them. No, they're just random code generator that I made.
So we're giving those away. If you want to enter, we'll put the details on Twitter. You just retweet that, and you will be in it to win it.
You cannot be out of it and win it.
No, and we'll announce the winner in our next episode.
Yeah. At Retrograde Show.
Yeah, go to Twitter at Retrograde Show. You can find that. It should be up in the next couple of days.
We're approaching 1,500 followers now.
Wow.
The bots love us.
On Twitter.
Yeah, they do. And the hot single ladies as well. They love the Retrograde Show.
Are they in your area?
They are always in my area.
Trying to sell us bags and shoes. But they're also ready to have sex.
Well, on that note, we're here to talk about Halo. So before we do, we got a nice intro from one of our listeners at SteelFox1.
Hello, welcome to Retrograde. In this episode, the Retrograde team are going to talk about Halo Combat Evolved. Well, Halo Combat Evolved is a 2001 military science fiction first-person shooter video game, developed by Bungie and published by Microsoft Game Studio. It is the first game in the Halo franchise and was released on November 15, 2001 as an exclusive launch title by the Microsoft Game Studio. It was considered the platform's killer app. Halo is set in the 26th century. Because that'd be an awesome game, like, with all the pistols and, like, horses, but, like, Assassin's Creed already got that covered. The players assume the role of Master Chief, well, as my friends like to call it, Master Chef. A cybernetically enhanced super soldier that is accompanied by Corteria, pretty sure how that's pronounced, an artificial intelligence who occupied Master Chef, a neutral interface as the player battles various aliens as they attempt to uncover the secrets of Empolius. Halo, a ring-shaped artificial world. Wait, what if? Me just brainstorming. What if they had a Master Chef, Empolius, Master Chef, or something like that? The best cooking game of the century with laser guns. Okay. Halo has been praised as one of the best and most important video games of all time. A high-definition remake of Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary will be released on the 10th anniversary of the original game's release. It will be re-released as part of Halo Master Chef Collection on November 11th, 2014 for the Xbox One. Anyway, now back to the retro game team. Goodbye.
Thanks for that, Steel Fox. Awesome. And if you have a blog, podcast, Twitter, website, whatever, anything you want to promote, anything, just get in touch with us on Twitter and you can be our guest voiceover for one of our shows, just like Steel Fox was.
If either of you guys want to do a voiceover,
if you want to do a voiceover,
promote, because just because you're friends of the show doesn't mean.
Can we promote like ideas rather than?
We had a guy sell a fridge. As far as I know, he didn't actually have the fridge.
True story.
Oh.
He had to sell a fridge on Gumtree. Not even joking. We were more than happy.
Did he have to pay like sponsorship money?
No.
No.
They just gave us a voiceover so we can put it in the show.
Did he sell the fridge? I mean, that's the most important thing.
Did it work?
We got the ice cube trays. He got the commission from the fridge sale.
I don't think the fridge ever actually existed.
It was in his front garden. Oh, yeah, but so if you've got a fridge to sell as well, get in touch with us. Anything you want to sell, unless it's something obviously illegal like your body. We don't do that. We're clean around here. And yeah, now's a good time to mention the Retrograde Show and all our other sister podcasts on the Cycle Network are sponsored by Tweet Audio. So if you're thinking about buying some new headphones, head over to tweetaudio.com, or one word, where they've got all shapes and sizes of headphones. And if you use the promo code Retrograde when purchasing, you'll get 33%
Do they have all shapes and sizes?
Yes.
I mean, I only know 3 shapes.
Except round. They haven't got round.
Round.
What shapes do you know?
Square,
Yeah.
oblong.
Hang on. He said 3. Now, either he doesn't know triangle
I
or
want to
circle.
see where this is going.
And dodecahedron. But you'll also, not just that, you'll get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty on your headphones. So yeah, check out tweetaudio.com.
If you ask me, as far as shapes go, dodecahedron's all you really need.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just stop after dodecahedron.
The shape deciders.
Yeah, those guys.
We can stop there.
I mean, they just kept adding edges. So anyway, let's talk about Halo Combat Evolved. Ooh. James chose this, and then he buggered off to Glasgow to fight for the motherland and stuff. I think he chose this because of Destiny, because he's been loving Destiny, and I think he wanted to do some sort of comparison thing
really
in
like
his
it?
pastiche.
I thought he'd given up on Destiny.
I don't know.
Is that not the case?
But
Yeah, Master Chief Collection, yeah.
I think we should jump, because I don't know what you guys think of it, but I know what Adam does. Because when I said to Adam, would you like to jump in on the podcast? And when he said, like, oh, no, not really, what game is it? Halo. You got so excited. Would you like to share why?
Well, Halo, most of the games you talk about in this game, in this show, are games that you vaguely remember playing, and you're like, oh, I remember that being quite good, and then you go back and you're ultimately disappointed. Halo, on the other hand, is not a too far distant memory. It is my teenage years, my late teenage years.
We had a couple of tweets of people saying, "What, is that really retro now?"
Yeah, I know. It's what, 2001.
Oh, I should really know that.
Just a quick bit of trivia. Ultimately disappointed was under consideration for the name of our show at one point. But no, carry on.
So it rather than being in the distant past, it's something that I remember fondly. I played with friends in university repeatedly, hundreds of hours put into multiplayer, Invisible Snipers, best game mode ever. And it's hundreds of hours because that's how long we spent trying to find each other.
Did you find that...
Were you playing on your own? You just didn't realise?
Man, these guys are good. Did you find that one of you had the preference for Invisible Snipers and just forced the rest to play it, or did you all equally love it?
I think 2 of us liked it and 2 of us didn't, or not as much.
Because that's what always bothers me is I really enjoy a certain game mode or a certain game type, and then no one else wants to play it.
Well, I mean, you can always, flip it about a bit, but Invisible Snipers did take a long time, so it was one of those where it would be the evening.
Is that literally what it sounds like? You were a sniper with rifles, but you had your invisible?
Yep, sniper weapons only.
But how would you have seen people?
Well, you're sort of like a almost see-through...
Like Predator?
Yeah. You can, and also when you shoot, you then become...
I was going to say, a game's just come out literally on that, where you're all invisible.
Oh, yeah,
It's called Cheap Shot or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Oh, no, Screen Cheat.
That's it, Screen Cheat. And it's literally where you're all invisible, but you have to look at their screen to work out where they are shooting, which is strange. But sorry, go on, Adam.
That's pretty much it. That's the reason why I was excited to join you guys to talk about Halo.
But I got to admit, you were telling me you were playing on Saturday. You went through the whole game, and then you even had to start playing Halo 2 as well. That you enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, I got to the end, and I was like, "Oh man, what happens to the Master Chief?" So Halo 2 got in, and yeah, I'm halfway through that.
Halo 2 got in. So where are you?
His name's John 316, isn't it?
So John 317.
John 316.
John-
like Steve Austin.
Coming to the hour.
John 117.
Oh, 117.
yeah,
Sorry.
He's not as good as 316 then.
No.
They should never have given him a name. He's a Master Chief.
It was for the novelizations, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Was it like-
Don't get me started on books.
There's a
There's
lot.
no such thing as books and games.
There's a lot of
Oh, no,
backstory.
there totally is.
Like, I don't. If people go, like, my biggest pet peeve is someone says, "Oh, I don't understand the story in the game." Like, have you read the books? Why would I read a book? I'm playing a video game. It's like saying, "Did you listen to the soundtrack?" Because it's all in the soundtrack. I'm like, no, I'm not going to listen to a bloody soundtrack. I'm playing a video game.
I think Halo did that well in that the story. When you play the games, you get pretty much the whole story of what's going on, but the story's then embellished in the books and made into a massive world with lots of stuff happening. But you can follow what's going on with the games.
There's always extra bits in the game that you'll only get if you read the books, but
I
they're
think
like bonuses.
I think the story in Halo is crap.
Oh, mate.
Well,
It's
hang on.
rubbish.
Oh no, the main story is pretty terrible, but the universe is amazing.
I respectfully disagree.
Go on then.
Well, what's I mean, what's
Well, no, okay, let me get so. To be honest, it's just because it's like, okay, you're the Master Chief, you're the Super Soldier, yeah, okay, all that crap and everything. And then you're landing on a ring, and to be honest, actually, Halo 1, I can get on board with. I was like, oh, these aliens, these Flood, and they're using the ring to kill all the Flood and stuff like that.
Spoilers.
Maybe it was when I got to the second one, and suddenly you get this whole religious hierarchy and all this stuff, and then you're playing as the Arbiter and stuff. And then there was this, all I remember in 2 was there was a bit where there's a giant plant.
the Gravemind?
I've
It
never
was a
actually-
giant plant, and it grabs Chief, and
Yeah.
it grabs the Arbiter and pulls him down. When that happened, I signed off on the Halo storyline. I've played all the way through to 4. I do not care anymore about the characters. I'm just playing it for the mechanics.
That
Heartbreaking.
disappoints me.
I'm hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I spoiler alert. So the ring in this one, he was going to use it to kill the Flood, right? But it was going to wipe out the whole galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of. Well, it's like
Spoiler
used for
alert,
two
spoiler
things,
alert,
right?
I'm
So it's
sorry.
like a prison for the Flood, but it's also if they get out, then it will kill them, but also kill everything else.
Yeah. So basically, the
Multiple rings, though, isn't there?
I think the Halos fire within like 25,000 light years
Yeah.
each Halo. There's 8 Halos, and they essentially fire to kill the. It's not to kill the Flood. It's to kill
Isn't it to kill
Everything else?
to kill
Yeah,
everything
stop-
else that the Flood feeds on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit stupid. Just kill the Flood.
It's like Skynet.
Who built this?
So
kill
that's
humans.
why in part of Halo, obviously the Master Chief helps 343 Guilty Spark to reclaim the index and then attempt to activate Halo, and Cortana steps in. Spoiler alert.
Mark, what's your background with Halo?
So I never had an Xbox,
Oh.
the original one. Yeah, sorry, I had a GameCube. But my sister had one, or my brother-in-law rather. So I would go around their house and I'd occasionally play it. I didn't really know much about it because there wasn't much hype about it when it came out. There was no build-up or anything. It was just there and then just kind of
It wasn't
exploded,
even
right?
like a flagship launch title. It was
Yeah.
just a launch title.
So I would get to play it occasionally. So I only ever really played through the first 3 or 4 levels. I don't know why. I should have made a save game. And then when I went to uni, we started playing it in our house for My Player, and we played that like all the time, absolutely all the time.
I remember when I first moved in with you, I'm pretty sure you were hooked on Halo 3
Yeah, Halo
multiplayer,
3,
and then
yeah.
Call of Duty sneaked in.
Yeah, I was all about Halo 3
Yeah.
until I played Halo 3 until about
And you were like, you played it for, I remember you playing hours worth
Yeah.
of Halo 3 multiplayer.
amazing. Yeah,
It was good.
It's all about Lone Wolf, although it's a bit too much pressure. But Halo 1, we just played like 4 of us, classic Slayer.
Slayer.
Yeah, we had to eventually start banning the pistol because there were two of us that always used the pistol, and we were too good with it.
The pistol is a fantastic underappreciated weapon in Halo.
If this was like a modern day game, they would have nerfed the pistol.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Because it was way
It's
overpowerful.
ridiculous.
Like, especially when it's like all the way across the map, it can almost be like a sniper gun sometimes.
The pistol can take down a hunter.
Yeah.
One shot. Yeah,
That
hit it
little
in the
orange.
back.
Everyone knows that. No one doesn't know that little bit if they played Halo. It's not like, you can shoot me in the back, by the way.
But yeah, so I only recently played through the actual campaign in Anniversary.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was amazed at how well it still stands up, considering it's like 13 years old.
I picked this up on, so I was playing on the Anniversary Edition. I played it in the old setting as well. I didn't use the new HD graphics, and I'm genuinely still really impressed at how well it's aged. To the point that I don't really understand why I could play through it happily. I was saying to Adam before the show, I could play through it happily and not get bored, and yet Halo 4, I got bored.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, because that's just basically Halo with bells and whistles on it. But there's something about the simplicity of Halo, which at the time didn't feel simple, but now it does, that made it so much more fun and more approachable to play, in my opinion. Halo just seemed they've just added more and more on that's, in essence, lost what Halo kind of was for me.
Lost the magic.
Like, I remember everyone says Halo 2's better, but I remember the moment they put dual wielding in, I didn't really like it.
Oh, really?
It started annoying me having two guns at once. I was like, oh, there's
too much complexity.
Too complexity.
Yeah.
My quick story of Halo, because I when I got Halo back in 2001 or whatever, I got a GameCube.
Oh, you as well.
Put the Halo disc in, nothing worked. No, I got a GameCube and I was really excited, and I got, I think, Resident Evil, and then I waited like 2 months and got Super Mario's Galaxy Sunshine, and completed it, and it was alright, it was good. And then I looked at what else was coming out, and it was like nothing for like 5 months.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, and I really liked the GameCube. I went, I'm not going to wait 5 months, so I went, alright, I'll go, Xbox has come out. So I traded it in at game, which I always hate doing because they give you like 50 quid. Traded it in, got a Halo, and the first thing I did was I dropped the Xbox off the desks, off their till, because it was so damn heavy.
Did it register like 4.6 on the Richter scale?
Honestly, it was like, I went, oh my god. And I'm a sucker for these things where I don't care about, like, if I buy like a MacBook Air, I'm like, oh my god, it's really thin. I like things that are like, whoa, walking home with this graphics card, I'm gonna have to, like, if I spin around, I'll knock people out. But like, so I got the Xbox home, and it's kind of funny because I know that having a new console and the price you pay for a game shouldn't really impact the actual game itself, but it did make a big difference to set the Xbox up, turn it on, it sounded like a skyscraper just fallen down, and it was just like, so what the hell's this machine? The big green X comes on, it goes. Everything about the console was made to be threatening. Even the controller could be classified as a weapon.
The controller, you could beat someone to death with.
Yeah. I remember putting my hands around it, and I was like, I don't know why. I remember thinking, how do Japanese people play with this?
Well, they didn't.
That's the thing, they didn't. But like the controller was just like, this is redonkulous. And that word didn't even exist then, but I made it up. And then I put Halo in, and everything about it was just like, oh, dun, 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 dun. And to go from having like an N64 to getting this was just this mind-blowing jump. And it generally did completely flabbergasted me about how great this game was. I remember my friend coming around doing co-op, and he brought his controller, and the idea of getting into the Warthog and him being on the gun and me driving at the time was just, I can't believe how brilliant this is. Like, this is so much fun, and it has, and I think it's held up really well to the point where I can still make qualms about it though.
Oh yeah,
everyone can.
It's got,
let's be honest, the library is goddamn awful. It's a terrible
one
level.
of the worst levels in the whole of the series.
I can't think of a game that has a worse section in such a great game has a terrible section.
It's not as bad as Cortana on Halo 3. That's the worst
that was
level.
hard, yeah.
The library was one of the few levels where I had to cheat because I was playing it through on Legendary, of course.
As you do.
Yeah. But there's like a section right at the beginning of the level where I had to end up like jump outside of a level to avoid some of the enemies.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Am I not a real man?
That's not very legendary.
We haven't heard. Oh, sorry, go on.
I had to do it.
We haven't heard from Anthony yet about Halo. Tell us, Halo.
I didn't I didn't have an Xbox when I was younger, and I also had a GameCube.
Pet rock.
My brother had a PS2, so the Xbox wasn't really on my horizon. And I played a bit of Halo at friends' houses, that sort of thing. But I really only played it properly once I got the PC version and played through the campaign. Not too long ago. It was probably a year or two ago. Basically, because I was planning to get around to playing Halo 4 that everyone was saying was amazing.
I remember you playing. Yeah, I remember you doing this. Yeah.
But I got partway through Halo 2 and just gave up. And I think I really enjoy Halo, though. It's bold and it's simple and it does nearly everything right. And even though it's like a man's game for men, it also manages to be very colourful. Like, because it's a shooter and it's full of aliens and guns and spaceships and things. But it's such a colourful game, and they're very... it's very vibrant, even though it's also dull in times. Like the first level's a bit dull.
I mean, it's visually great for the time. It was essentially they wanted to use it to show off what the Xbox could do.
Oh, definitely. And you get a lot of games these days that do that, like Rise, Son of Rome, that don't really have a good game inside. But luckily, games like Halo, they're very solid shooters, and it's almost, I'd put it in the same wheelbarrow. I don't know what the phrase is. I put it in the same arena as GoldenEye for proving that console shooters worked.
Well, I think GoldenEye was the one that made an example that it could be done, but I think Halo was the one that actually achieved it, in my opinion. I think the moment you added the second stick, Halo was the first twin stick first-person shooter that I went. Like GoldenEye, it was good and you could play it. And at the time, I was like, "Oh, this is great." But Halo was the first one where I went, "Okay, now it now matches like a PC." I don't care anymore.
You
about
can
mouse and
tell
keyboard.
because like there are still like Halo is basically still kind of the template for most games. You've got the 2 weapon setup for recharging
shooting
health.
on the trigger. It's
all
it
that
seems
kind of
simple
thing.
now, but
whereas
it's
I don't know any games that really ape GoldenEye that much.
Yeah,
No, I mean, you saw a lot of PC games would be quite complex in terms of what you had to do, like the mechanics. But this game, I think, traded in simple mechanics for quite not simple set pieces. Like you got spaceships coming down, big space battle at the start. You're in the middle of landing on the Halo itself. I mean, all those things were pretty mind blowing in a video game at the time because most first person shooters of the time were a lot of like indoor sections.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like the first level is, I think they deliberately set it up so that the first level is standard corridor shooter, what you're used to, gets you used to the game. So because at the time, I mean, what else was out in 2001 in terms of shooters? So Half-Life was still around.
Half-Life 97.
I think Doom 3 come out.
Doom 3 would have come out about 2004. After
So much before. Okay, so so most people are used to corridor shooters, and this is. So they start off on the Pillar of Autumn, and it's everything they're used to. But then the second level just drops you out onto this massive open world, and like it completely changes everything.
It's weird for me when I remember playing this game because even though I remember the second level Halo really well, even though I always laugh when he's like in the thing and the soldier's like, "We're gonna die, aren't we?" And Chief's like, "No, don't worry, we'll be all right." Start next level, they're all dead. It's like, "Yep, you all died, apart from the Chief." But it's really weird because again, I was thinking to Adam about this. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys had this as well, but first level, yeah, you're right, corridor shooter. Second level, you get to the Warthog, you're like, "Oh, this is cool." Third level, you get like the sniper rifle, and it's kind of making you forced to use the aliens guns. The fourth level was silent cartographer. I don't know why, but that's kind of, there must be a game design theory for it. But by the time you get to that point, you're about 2.5 hours in, you know everything you need to know to play this game, basically.
That's like, I think that level is Halo in like a nutshell.
Yeah, and I never really know why, because even though there are better levels, like the assault on the control room is awesome, but silent cartographer is always a level I remember. And I think it's just because it's so well paced. It's just at that point in the game where you're like, I'm comfortable playing this game, and they go, "Here you go, have a playground," and that's what silent cartographer is to me.
It's like one of those, because it's again like a really big open level, but Bungie are really good, especially at this point. They were really good at signposting where you need to go and controlling the pace in that way with different encounters. So like they do it a lot with lighting, and in silent cartography they do it a lot with the actual shooting. So they place groups of enemies like right outside like a clearing or like a valley where you needed to go, and they're so on point with their like pacing of the game. It's like you're saying, it's absolutely amazing.
This is what baffles me, because you've got all of that great design decisions, and it's a fantastic entry into console shooters if people aren't used to them or haven't been playing on PC or something. And it's very impressive design work. And then I'm guessing it's because of time constraints or budget constraints or something rushing out the door for launch. You get to the section of the game quite a bit later where it's just the same level repeated 4 to 8 times, and there's no difference between all these different sections. And you get to the point where you're thinking, why did they could have made this a shorter game, not repeated this section, and it would have been better for it. And that just, it was like the Alien...
one of the things they did to try and mix it up a little bit though with that was that all of those levels that you then went back and redid, you did with the flood, so it's a different it was a different way of playing that game. And
but given how annoying the flood is, it didn't really like help me appreciate those levels more. It would have been nice if there was a new enemy that sort of like with Half-Life did this very well, where the Marines came along and they presented a new like AI challenge, because they would flank you and call out to each other, and that was an interesting way. You were focused on the enemies rather than the levels, which were getting a bit samey. But in this, they took you through the same levels again, but replaced with a flood, which kind of mindless, and that was sort of the opposite approach.
I'll be honest though, I quite like, one of my favourite things in games to do, although I'll admit with Halo they overdid it quite a lot, but I do like to go back to an environment and look at how especially if how my impact in the game has changed the environment. A very good example is Ocarina of Time, where you go to the whole of the Zelda games always have the light and dark world, and Ocarina has it where you go and everything's been ravaged. So it's the same environment, and the thing is, but you're right, and I kind of, that whole thing of repeating environments was a risky move, and all the way through the Halo game, which made it so, now it seems very normal, but at the time was so ballsy things to do, like having a shield that recharged, having only been able to carry 2 weapons at a time, which at the time we were used to Doom, where it was like you had a massive bag of all of the weapons you've ever collected. I remember when I first played this, I was like, you can only carry 2 guns, and I was like, what? That's rubbish. Why would they do that?
The shield and 2 weapons, I think, is what made this game, because it changed the dynamic of how you were meant to play and how you approached every set piece. And
you could, and it's so clever because it makes you use the guns. You have to pick up the alien guns and use them. Like GoldenEye, there were so many guns I never used. I was just like, forget it, I'm not touching that gun. It's rubbish. But like, and you could tell they were nervous about it as well, because they still put things like health, like medipacks in, which I forgot playing this again. That there are medipacks in this, and you forget it's like, oh yeah. And there's just loads of little things like that they did that are really kind of small touches that really revolutionised. And now it's kind of like, it's the norm. You can only carry 3 guns at a time in a game. That's how it's played.
Yeah, it's. I think the biggest accomplishment is not the level design, obviously, but I mean the mechanics and how playful they are, despite the fact that it's essentially a serious game about a serious thing. Like, the enemies are very playful, and they're obviously quite comical in some ways.
The AI in this, even though it's silly because they go like, run away, and all this sort of stuff, and they're like, why do you speak in English? But the AI in this is still my favourite AI in a game.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know why.
Can you think of a game before this where 2 independent, non-playable characters would be engaged in a firefight between themselves?
Doom.
To the extent it was done in Halo.
It wasn't great, but not to the extent they do in Halo.
There's a point where you're coming back from assault on the control room.
You get into that 4-way fight.
You're getting outside. You get into like the 4-way fight, and just stepping back and watching that happen is fantastic.
It's something I think was enabled by the shield system, like, because they could really go to town on the AI because of that. They could make it as hard as they wanted to. Because they don't need to worry about the fact that, oh crap, we're going to have to place some mini-packs around.
There was just so many design stuff in the game. I remember actually reading an article by a designer of what he basically did was his theory was to get 30 seconds of something fun and then repeat it over and over again and just add a slight little tweak every time to make it a little bit more difficult. And that's the thing, there's so many things in this game. Like, my favourite, I remember when I first got the game, the first thing I thought was awesome was lobbing a grenade and it stuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's awesome. And having it on the left trigger. And this game's as much about, for me as well, as much about grenade throwing as it is shooting guns. Because quite often I'll have like a whole arsenal I'll have 4 grenades of each type, and I'm just going, run in, throw grenades at everything. This is awesome. And even the things like stabbing people in the back, like it's an instant kill. There's so much stuff in this, just so deliciously done.
That's what I mean about being playful. It's almost like it's not as such a game as it is a toy that you want to play with for the interactions you have with the enemies. Like, you have fun doing even the minute things. Which I think is not the case with a lot of first-person shooters. A lot of it's just rote, it's like, well, I need to throw a grenade over here. But in this, aiming and landing a grenade is really fun to do and accomplish.
So why was the multiplayer as well so hugely loved, do you reckon, for Halo?
I think for the same reason.
Just because it had all that polish on it.
I think there was... Well, it's not just polish, but the fact that you had so many options to you, and pulling something off, like, there were all those 3-action combos you could do that would do a lot of damage, that sort of thing. Pulling those things off would really give you a sense of satisfaction. It wasn't just shooting in the right direction or anything. It was about playing with your enemies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's also like the combination of vehicles that work well together.
Yeah.
You've got sort of like the different sizes of vehicle, and each one of them is appropriate for what they're trying to do. Yeah.
I don't know how this... I don't know what year Battlefield was released, 1942?
Ooh. Before, I want to say 99 or something.
Because, I mean...
A few years before, I think.
I don't know there's another game like this on the console that had such a good interplay between people on foot and people on vehicles.
Yeah, there's especially like this on console.
I mean, Battlefield had it, but that was on huge maps, whereas this was on small maps, and they designed the vehicles so well that you could have these vehicles and not make them feel overwhelming. You could get away from them and not be overrun by them.
Yeah, there's a point where you could see a ghost coming towards you and you're on foot, and you could think, you know what, I can have this guy.
Yeah.
It's not just seeing a vehicle and going, oh, I'm toast.
And that sort of variety, both in gunplay and in how you can approach a situation, I think is what makes multiplayer games essentially last forever, because you never get bored. There's nothing you can't then go on to try out.
I think the map design in Halo multiplayer as well was very, very good.
Oh, they put a lot of effort into it, like more than they did into the single player map design.
What was the famous one that Red and Blue always had, where there was a 2 bases at either end?
Blood Gulch.
Blood Gulch, which is like probably one of...
That's also the demo map.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And that was another quick thing to touch on, was the fact that somehow at this game Machinima became... this was like the first successful Machinima project with Red versus Blue, which I only watched like the first season, but I think it's still going, and it's still
it's on Netflix.
Yeah, really?
It's on Netflix, yeah.
It's Rooster Teeth, I think, are the guys who made it, and they're now like a fully fledged.
They do Achievement Hunters and everything. They're pretty good company.
Really good, and that came out of Halo, I guess. we're getting near to the end of the show, but I imagine it's a shame because you can tell it's a really good game because there's loads more I feel like we could talk about. I haven't touched on the music.
Yeah,
Is there any other big areas you guys want to touch on with Halo that you want to talk about?
I feel like we should say more things that are bad about the game, because this is a rare game that we've said nothing but good things about, except for maybe the level design in single player. I mean,
I would be struggling. One bad thing I would say, but I can't. This isn't Halo. Is something's happened to the series after this? 2, 3, 4, Reach, ODST. I don't enjoy. It's weird playing this because I enjoyed it, but I don't enjoy. Even though I'm going to buy the Master Chief Collection, I stopped playing Halo 4. Like I got bored, and I could not work out why when I still love playing Halo 1. Like Halo 2, I even remember when Halo 2 came out and they added in the big brutes, the gorillas guys, and I just didn't do it anymore for me. I was like,
I mean, even though like they're technically well done, I think there's like a charm with Halo.
There's definitely a charm, yeah.
That the others didn't quite get.
I think it's like a magic in its simplicity, and if you add more complexity to that, it's going to be very difficult to maintain that magic as you carry on. So I think that's just the issue at hand, is that they tried. I mean, the second one was set mostly in like cityscapes, and I felt like the graphics that they were capable of on the Xbox were not suited to cityscapes that we were familiar with. A lot of this is alien environments.
Yeah.
Oh, I also want to touch on just the concept, the universe we mentioned right at the start. But I really enjoyed Larry Niven's Ringworld book, which is about a giant Dyson slice like this one, but this is a smaller one. His orbits are... it basically surrounds a star rather than orbiting a planet. But that whole concept fascinates me. So the idea that you could land on that ring and then spend the rest of the game on it was...
And what the story did really well as well is it left lots of stuff open, enough for you to think, I really want to become involved in this story and learn more about what's going on in this universe. Because there's a whole point where 343 Guilty Spark obviously expected you to turn up and repeatedly calls you the Reclaimer. And from that point, you're like, why is this guy... What does he think I'm... what's he think
There's
I'm
a mystery.
here for? Yeah, and obviously that then goes into the rest of the story, and there's a massive story behind Halo. And
for me personally, I wasn't interested in the kind of lore or the kind of universe.
Oh, really?
What I was really interested in was the Master Chief and his history. And I remember when I was reading about Reach and how it was about you were played as the last group of Master Chiefs. And I got to admit, I did like, even though it's quite funny in the first level where you run around going, oh my god, I haven't got a gun, what's going on? I don't know what you're doing. And you're meant to be like Super Soldier Master Chief.
Yeah.
I love when like you walked up to Marines, they were like, oh my god, it's him.
Yeah.
It is really kind of shameful now to think about it, but just to be like, yeah, I'm the Master Chief.
Yeah, that's strange, because I didn't really care about the Master Chief at all. I
really
cared about the ring we were on.
I agree on that a little bit. Like, whenever I'm playing a game where I'm not Master Chief, I don't really enjoy it as much. But I can't really say why. Like, ODST and Reach, I both really enjoyed those, but it wasn't the same.
I think it's a power fantasy.
The bits in Halo 2 as well, when you're the Arbiter, you're a bit like, I don't want to be this
it's
guy.
It's pretty much the same game, right? But yeah, if it's something about playing as Master Chief. I think it's just something about the way they personalise him through, like, about the way like all the enemies call you like the devil, and they actually people run away from you and stuff, and you don't get that in the others. I'd also like to quickly touch on the presentation. I think we've kind of mentioned this already with how bold and colourful it is, but I think it has such a strong kind of brand.
Yeah,
and so you have a kind of military grey, realistic kind of Marines, but then the Covenant are that classic purple colour, which I absolutely love, and I hate that they changed it for Halo 4. And it gives them such like the sense of the exotic by the use of the colours, like all the neons, the purples.
They made it less playful.
It's like a light show. Like they've got the green guns, the pink needlers, the blue grey. It's like a fireworks show when you're fighting them.
That's what one thing I want to touch on is the fact that it's so bold and...
Let's stop saying touch on things, okay? Another thing I want to touch, guys. Go on.
One thing I wanted to lay my fingers upon is it's so bold and so simple that in my mind what they've accomplished across the Halo series is that whenever a new Halo came out, I always thought it looked the same as the previous ones, unless I went back and compared them side by side. The art direction is bold enough, or simple enough, but still successful enough that Halo 1, in my mind, looked the same as Halo 4, unless I went back and compared like the models of Master Chief in each one.
In the Anniversary Edition, you could switch, obviously, to the HD upgrade on the low graphics. It's funny, because I played it before, and I played it on HD, and when I switched back to the old one, I was like, oh, it looks so bland. Now, when I had to force myself to play the old one, switching to the upgrade, it felt like too much. I felt like it actually ruined it a little bit. And it is funny how when you add on bells and whistles to things, it can suddenly make it look worse.
No,
look at like the Silent Hill remake where they've like kind of fixed the fog. It was like, what the hell did you do that for? The fog was the thing that made the game so famous. But
I think this is a case of going back and playing the earliest game in a series that's long running is not really an issue, because this is just as enjoyable to me, or more so probably for me than the later games. And the graphics aren't an issue in this game at all. I think
I feel like as well, and maybe this is why I don't like the story, that I found Halo 1 was far funnier than the following games. Like the film reference in this were far stronger, where it was like blatantly, like I was saying earlier, that like it starts off as a science fiction film, then when you get the Flood, it's a science fiction horror film. And obviously there's lots of Alien in there and aliens in there, like as in the film influence. And I really liked that. It was kind of shameful. Like the way that the aliens speak in English and go, run away! Yeah. You know that if they knew how big a success Halo was going to be, they probably wouldn't have had those aliens speak in English, because they would have been scared and gone, we better not do this, guys, because it makes it a bit of a comedy. Like by the time we got to Halo Reach, they were so serious about it. Yeah. They were like, it's definitely where's Master Chief going this time? It's like, who cares?
Yeah, this definitely has like that B-movie quality about it.
Yeah, and I really like that. Like when the whole bit in Guilty Spark thing is when you put the video of the soldier, and they're like, I'm not going in there, man. He's like, what's wrong with these people? And you're building up to this really cliche dramatic moment, and it's even got that creepy horror noise where it goes as it goes down, and it's ridiculous now. But you think, but that's what I liked about Halo. It was that almost cartoonish like merit to it.
But it works so well. When I got to that point and I saw that video and that bit and then the music stuff, I was like, oh my god,
I can't wait to get into this.
They're coming.
What's going to come out?
Can we quickly talk about the music quickly?
Yeah, go on. And they fired him though, so don't get.
They did fire him. Up. Well, I don't know what he did on Destiny. No music in it.
He just went
I would argue now more the theme tune for Halo, or like the main menu music, is more iconic than Mario Brothers. Like I reckon more people would recognise it now.
Yeah.
Than if you played.
I don't know about that, but I think it might be hold a candle. I think it might be in the running for the most badass music of all time, for like to getting you pumped up. I can't think of a video game theme that makes me that.
Well, like I said, I remember Halo 3's music was fantastic as well, but I just remember, like I said, getting the Xbox, putting the game in, and, you know, I'm used to video games where you turn them on and the theme tune would be like, blah, 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 like Banjo-Kazooie or something, and it was just weird to hear a choir going, oh, I was like, what the fuck am I about to play? This is weird. And it was like, oh, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum. It's like,
options.
Well, I've never heard that before in a game. I'd never heard such, like, dramatic choir music. It's like we love that game called Mount Your Friends, and it's a really good game, but it's got this weird classical like music in the background. It just makes it bizarre. And it was strange at the time to hear that on Halo, but I guess it's probably the same impact as when people played Wipeout and it had all that FMV dance trance music, and they were like, I've never heard this before in a game.
It's because if you just look at a video of Halo, like someone playing Halo, I would expect it to be playing like some really cheesy heavy metal in the background or something like that. That's kind of the kind of video game music I would expect to be hearing. Not like orchestrated.
They put a lot of cinematic effort into this game.
I remember there was in Half-Life where you first meet the soldiers and suddenly that techno music comes on. This is like it was really strange, but it works so well, and I guess Halo does.
It has that same quality in Halo. Actually, they only use it. They use music very sparingly. Mm-hmm. Like it only comes in at like key moments, especially like when you get on the Warthog for the first time, and then it kicks in. And it makes it feel so much more dramatic and amazing.
Yeah, same with the Scorpion. You get in the Scorpion tank and suddenly it kicks in and you think,
wow. Do you want to very quickly hear some trivia?
Yeah.
Trivia.
Why not?
Not a lot, actually, but originally it was going to be a real-time strategy tactical game for Windows, like a sci-fi version of Myth, which is why Halo Wars kind of existed, because they really wanted to go back to that and see if they could do it. All the storyboards of the FMVs were drawn by the same guy who did Fifth Element, who did storyboards for Fifth Element. Yep.
Interesting.
When they made this, they did System Link, and they were like, no one's ever going to use this. Bungie literally thought that no one would ever bother to carry a console and a TV over to their friend's house. They were like, they put it in, because one of the coders really wanted it in. Yeah. And he was like, they were like, no one's ever going to do this. So they said, let's limit it to 16. There was no technical limitation to why they did that. They just did it because they thought no one is ever going to get 4 televisions, 4 Xboxes, and 16 people in a room. Like, it's nuts. And then they found it did, and it was hugely popular. So for Halo 2, they upped it and made proper LAN parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This one I thought was quite cool. The Assault on the Control Room is the only level that features a Scorpion tank. And it's the only one.
I'm racking my brain now, trying to go through all the levels.
And it's the only one that features all of the pilotable vehicles in the game in one level.
That is an epic level, though. It's a marathon.
The ending cutscene, which shows Master Chief removing his helmet, you couldn't obviously see anything on the Xbox, but on the PC version, you could hack it and do a free roam version, which when he took his helmet off, there was exactly the same helmet underneath, just slightly smaller, which was quite funny. And the only last thing I thought was interesting is that Cortana was originally meant to have an English accent, hence why she had lines like "sod off" and things like that in it. But by the time Jen Taylor was cast, the accent was dropped and was not rewritten for an American accent, even though she had an American accent. So she says a lot of British things in an American accent. I think they should have made her British. That would have been fantastic. Master Chief. Brilliant. Where are we getting to the retrograde part of the show?
I think Adam should choose.
Well, James did give me something,
okay.
and it's rubbish. So I'm happy for someone like
I'm sure
Adam
it's
Mark.
What did
great.
James give you?
He said planets, that we have to grade this by planet.
No, I
don't
quite
know.
like that.
You want to do that? You
That's
want to do
difficult.
planets?
happy
Though.
with
I
planets.
couldn't tell you what my favourite planet was. I wouldn't know. What makes a planet bad?
I'm gonna.
No, it's just what planet this game reminds you of and why.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It could
I was
be a
thinking more
fictional.
of it,
It could be a
okay.
fictional planet as well. But I'm going to go for Jupiter because it's massive and it's huge. It was my favourite of the selection of songs that Holst composed when he made Jupiter. So my favourite one of his. James will appreciate that when he's listening back. He'll go, fair play, joke, fair play. And yeah, it's the big blue one that everyone likes, like Halo. That's my answer.
The big, do you see the
Jupiter
big
is not blue.
blue one?
Jupiter's blue, isn't it?
Jupiter is orange. Or
It's
red.
Saturn blue.
No, you're thinking
Saturn's
of
a bit
Neptune.
blue. Yeah,
One of the
Neptune's
big ones is
really
blue. Either,
Yeah, I think it's
either Jupiter or
Neptune.
Saturn.
Neptune. That's my
Neptune's not
planet.
that big. Okay, well, Jupiter next. It's red. Carry on.
Because it's red.
Who wants to go next to a planet?
It's not red.
It's orangey, yellowy, reddy,
I swear Jupiter's blue.
Mustard.
mustard.
Anyway, who's got a
I'm
planet?
going for Neptune.
Oh, okay.
Because it's blue and colourful, and I like this game because it's colourful and sometimes it's blue, but also because it's a bold blue. You know, it's quite a colourful, it's playful blue. It's not one of those dark blues you sometimes see that's a bit, it's a bit like, hey, I'm blue, and it's sort of.
When I look at Neptune, I think, damn, I could play on that planet. It looks fun.
These days, it's sort of hidden behind some bigger planets with some flashier stuff going on, like a big.
You do forget about Neptune.
Yeah, it's like got like a big eye on Jupiter, and it's got big rings on Saturn. But Neptune's just hiding out there, being badass and colourful and blue. So I'm going to go for Neptune.
Yeah.
Solid planet. I don't know if it is. It might actually be a gas, but solid on the core. Solid core.
There's no such thing as gas planets. They're all solid. Go on, one of you guys. Who's got a planet? Can be a fictional planet, by the way. I know there's not just the 8 in our universe.
No, I'm going for Venus.
Oh, saucy.
The female
I know,
planet.
right? Everyone
The female planet.
raised eyebrows.
The lady planets.
I'm going to make a massive assumption that Venus was the first other planet that we discovered. And I'm going to go for that assumption because you can see it with the naked eye.
No, it's the moon.
I was going to say the moon, and I thought everyone's going to say it's not a planet. I'm going for Venus because it was the first planet we discovered, and it made us go, hey, I wonder if there are other planets out there. And we had a look, and they were great. And Halo did that for console shooters.
That's a good one.
Must have freaked them the crap out when they found Venus.
I thought you were going to say when they
What the hell is that?
Freak them out.
when they found Halo. I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
I am freaked out right now. What is this console?
Mark, what's your planet?
Mark, what's your planet?
My planet.
Captain Planet.
I'm going to go for Earth.
Clever.
Hey, hear me out.
All right, go on.
then.
The originator,
The originator.
Are you one up in Venus?
Are you saying the originator?
we looked down at the floor and went, man, this is great. Let's get some more of that.
Are you saying the originator of being planets?
Well, I know.
Because I don't know when Earth was formed.
You know,
it was before.
if we didn't have Earth, we'd be in a pretty poor position right now.
Yeah, we would.
We would.
The other planets wouldn't exist. without
People,
Earth.
Do you think the Xbox would still be about if it wasn't for Halo?
Oh, that's a good question.
I want to hear why Earth first.
All right. OG planet. You know, I think a lot of people kind of overrate it nowadays. They say, "Oh, Earth, what's so special about
Well,
Earth?"
we're damaging it, aren't we?
Yeah, I know,
much
exactly.
We don't think
See?
about it anymore.
They just take it for granted.
What's
And
so
they need to
special
go
about Earth?
moral
They take it for
kids.
granted, and they need to go back and
I love ending an episode on a moral.
examine it and find out actually Earth is pretty damn amazing.
Yeah.
No, I'm ready for Jupiter Advanced Warfare.
Plus, colourful and
It's got jump jets in it.
it's blue mostly.
It's also got green. It is
It's got
probably the
some
most
green.
colourful planet, actually.
Thank you. And it looks like Halo. It looks like you're on the ring. Apart from the fact it's not a ring.
Yeah, it's almost the opposite. But
Fantastic. Go back to your question. Would the Xbox have been as successful about Halo? I think it wouldn't have. I can't think.
No, I think
it had a fairly dismal launch lineup.
I can't think what followed it.
Thing is, it
that
wasn't
was a big. What was like the second and third biggest Xbox games, like Project Gotham Racing.
Yeah, Project Gotham.
And then I can't think what else.
It wasn't Halo 2. If Halo 2 hadn't come out, then
Halo
Xbox,
2 was one of the few times when they go, the most anticipated game of all time.
Yeah.
I genuinely felt like it wasn't anticipated. When they showed that trailer at E3, the playable video, that was never actually made in the game in the end, like, I watched that hundreds of times.
Yeah.
It was so exciting.
But just because of, like, if there was no Halo 2, there was basically no Xbox Live.
Yeah, that's true.
The
Without that.
matchmaking in Halo 2 was
I think
the best.
I think they only turned off the Halo 2 servers like about a year ago.
Wasn't it? Yeah, it was either this year or last year.
They had like a big celebration for it. I'm really sad about it.
I remember I read there was like a really dedicated bunch of people who just left their Xboxes on because you wouldn't get disconnected from the server until you turned off. Then you wouldn't be able to reconnect.
The last guy doing it had a power cut and just out
There's
there.
a really good recap online. You can they've like made videos and written stories about it.
Aww.
About how these people tried to stay together and kept trying to find games. Like it would take hours to find a game.
But yeah, I personally think that the state of console gaming now would be completely different because I don't know if the Xbox would be about if it wasn't for Halo and the Halo franchise.
It's hard to say, but yeah. And don't forget, it was 13, which is the best first-person shooter on the Xbox. So
it's also on the GameCube.
It's also on PC.
all right, guys, calm down. No, I'm joking, it wasn't. But yeah, you're right. I don't know. It's a hard one. Don't forget, the Xbox was only around for like 4 years. Was it 4 or 5 years before the 360 came out? The Xbox was like 2001, and then the 360 came out like 2006. So yeah. Anywho, yeah, we should. That was a good. We all agreed. No one hated that one. I think James. We need James or Lazan back because they normally hate.
You're saying James would have hated it.
James would have hated it. Yeah, thank you for listening, and you can find all information and links regarding this podcast as well as all our other sister podcasts at psychon.net, so make sure to check it out. And just a reminder again that the Retrograde podcast is hosted on the Psychon network, so head over to psychon.tv to become a patron for our show and support the network. Woo! We're going to be back in 2 weeks with Tomb Raider 2.
This is your game, isn't it, Jack?
This is my game. See Mark's reaction? That's what, and both you two went, oh, memory.
Is that
Jack,
the one with Venice? Is that Venice?
Yeah, that's one with Venice. Yeah.
Jack, why did you choose Tomb Raider 2?
Boobies. No, not really. Because I got it as a child, and it's the action film with the Tomb Raider series, and we've not done Tomb Raider yet.
No, we haven't.
We've crossed most of the kind of massive franchises off our list, and we've not done Tomb Raider yet. And Tomb Raider 2 is my favourite one. It's the most fun to go back and play as well. Tomb Raider 1 was quite boring, let's be honest. It's just running around. Tomb Raider 2,
save for the show.
Tomb Raider 2, yeah, I will. I'll save it
Took
to
it
them.
outside the tombs, didn't it?
Yeah. They should just call it Land Raider 2 or something like that. But anyway, yes, so make sure you play Tomb Raider 2 before then, and make sure to tweet us or email us or whatever you want if you've got any opinions on Tomb Raider 2, whether you want to share them with us, whether you think it's the best one of the franchise or the worst, or what have you. But yeah, that's goodbye from me, Jack Marshall, goodbye from Anthony Hobday,
Goodbye.
goodbye from Mark Toole,
Goodbye.
and goodbye from Adam Bromwich Hughes.
Goodbye.
Yay.